ring, the chapel choir will sing, the happiness you'll bring will live in my memory. When the swallows come back to Capistrano, that's the day I pray that you come back to me.
Yes, from one gem of antiquity to another, I take you now into the world and realm of sport, and my great guru of athleticism sits beside me at the moment, Damian McCullough.
Rowan, good morning. How
are you?
I'm not too bad. It's another cracking day.
It is indeed. We're blessed with it. Are you enjoying it? You're out and about.
Oh, look, I love this.
Increasingly tanned by the moment.
I absolutely love it. Funny enough, I was talking to Brendan Barden last night, and Brendan was shaking his head.
Is he the Brendan Barden that had the floor of the garden place?
That's him, yes. And,
are you talking senior or son?
Oh, I'm talking the man himself.
The man himself?
He's complaining. He says, I need plenty of water. He said, you have no idea the amount of water you have to use.
Has he still got the place up there?
Yeah. And he's just got a new grandson,
Philip. Wonderful.
And Monza, a little boy arrived.
But I'd give you nothing for that. I have 16 of those.
Well, but he's only starting out, Ron.
Well, sure, no, we have
so
to.
we wish them well.
Indeed, we do wish you well.
Monza and Philip. And
Monza and Philip. It's all very jolly.
And the new baby, I think he's called Santiago.
What?
Santiago.
Is that where he's going?
No, that's his name.
Santiago?
Yes.
Santiago Bardan.
Yes.
Is that it?
That's it, yeah.
If you had to get a name again in life, what name? I'm serious now. What name would you choose rather than D?
Well, you see, the problem is you're not in a position to choose.
No, but say you had an opportunity that you could name yourself. What name would you use? What would you go for?
I'm quite happy with Damian.
I know you are, but is there one you might like?
I wouldn't mind Rowan.
Would you?
Yeah.
It's the nicest thing he has said to me ever in the whole history of the program.
Yeah. No.
But I'll tell you one that would suit you well, because you're a man who stands his ground and speaks his mind.
Well,
Daniel would do you.
Well, now, just when we talk about Daniel was a mighty man from the Bible who faced off
the lion. And
that's
that
correct.
Gives rise to my motto for you and any Daniel out there for life. Dare to be a Daniel.
Well,
I haven't finished.
Right, okay.
Dare to stand alone.
Okay.
Dare to have a purpose. And dare to have it known.
Well, that's a great opener, Rowan, because in the Irish news today, you would nearly think this was scripted.
But I would be happier if the referees knew the rules.
Well, okay.
You see, I was reading.
We're talking here about Danny Hughes, and Danny has said, it's another great article in the paper, and Bill Shankly, the greatest manager Liverpool ever had, right? He says the trouble with referees, they may know the rules, they just don't know the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, I started to think about that, and he's 100% right. Because, yes, the referees know the rules as per se. But you see, my philosophy on the rules is dead simple, Rowan. Laws are made for the obedience of fools and the guidance of wise men. So, during a match, the rule says that, but sometimes the referee has to use, I suppose, a bit of common sense.
Cop on.
Well, yes, but you see, I think what most players are looking for is consistency always. And they're looking for the referees just to be sensible about the whole thing. Now, we watched a couple of the games last week, and there is an awful discrepancy of how the referees handle the games. So it's one of those things that we knew was going to creep into the championship as it marched on into this end of the championship, right? So it's just a problem. I know the referees have a hard time, and you know, we wish them all was well, because at the end of the day, they're getting trained, but they just need that wee bit more. So that then leads me on to then the Ulster Championship last week.
Yes.
Well, we did say Donegal would win.
Wow.
Right, and we did say that they would beat Monaghan. But what disappointed me about Monaghan was Malachy O'Rourke just played one man up front, right? And McManus had about 5 men round him. So every time the ball was launched towards him, he hadn't a mission of getting the ball. Just no way.
One man among many.
Well, yes, one man among many. Like, he was nearly like Daniel standing among the lions, to be truthful.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he couldn't get moving. And Donegal won it comfortably. Obviously, you know, Michael Murphy, the greatest Donegal player they have, he's in playing as a sweeper, which was pretty smart from McGuinness's point of view. But it was a different type of match than the Dublin game. And then the Dublin game was, according to the Dublin press, free-flowing and Dublin at their best and all that. So,
Well, I would have thought so. Would you not?
well, all I'm saying is Dublin haven't met anybody yet that plays defensive football. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens, okay?
There's
And then-
huge pride. They have a huge pride, Dublin. I see it when I go down there.
Yeah, and
They're
I know
walking
some of the guys help you. There's some of
Oh,
them.
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
every county, Rowan, it doesn't matter if it's Leitrim or Dublin. Everybody puts that jersey on.
Yeah.
They all. You see, the epitome of any footballer. You got to play for your county jersey. That's the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle of a Gaelic football.
There's one for county in Ireland.
Well-
with memories so glorious and grand, where nature has lavished its bounty, it's the orchard of Ireland's green land. When are you going to come back and start playing football again, properly?
But see, I've never stopped playing
I'm talking
football.
about you, I'm talking about the county.
Which county?
Armagh.
Well, you see, Armagh are coming back next Saturday. They're going to the big field.
Yeah.
You see,
I actually believe, oddly enough, you might win.
well, there is the possibility. Now, Meath's going to come back. They're going to be hurting after their defeat last week.
Yeah.
The question about Armagh, you see, I suppose from everybody in Armagh, they're quite chuffed at how the thing has turned around this
Yeah.
year, right? Because there is absolutely no way. Because to be truthful, next week, I should have been going to Crow Park next Saturday night to watch Gareth Brooks play.
You're going to be there anyway.
Well, I'm going to be there anyway, yeah.
You pulled my leg, by the way. You didn't buy a ticket
Oh,
for
I
that
did,
person.
I did, yes. I mean,
Old Lardy
but
Arse himself.
Hold on a minute. The guy is an international star. The guy came over to Ireland. He wanted to launch his comeback tour from Ireland. 400,000 or 500,000 people bought tickets, and
He let them down.
he didn't let them down. I'm not even going to go there. He absolutely didn't let them down. The
Not even,
the
did you hear
small,
him? I'm not even going to go
the
there.
small minority of people, if they had had a wit about them, the way the country is at the minute, it would have brought about £50 million into Dublin, and everybody would have been feeling good and happy and having a great time for 3 or 4 days.
Help me. I know you don't want to go into it, and I'm not taking you into it. But can you tell me in simple language why 400,000 people wasn't a sufficiently large number for Garth Brooks to come and play before? Why?
Just like the guy.
But I
He's
mean,
good.
why did he not play? Why would he not come and play for the 400,000 who he could have played before?
Oh, you're talking about the three.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
again, I don't know. Maybe contractual things. I don't know. The bottom line is, when you hear all the stories that come out of it, since that you start to ask yourself a serious lot of questions. It's a pity.
Can
But-
he still sing?
Oh, he can, yeah. And I'll tell you.
Maybe it was an out for him.
Oh, he's going. He's
I don't
good,
want
he's
to
good.
do Dublin. They'll
Well,
catch
what
me
I tell
out.
you, if he had been there next Saturday night, Armagh wouldn't have been there, Rowan.
No.
So Armagh,
no, it's
Armagh went over to the west,
Yeah.
played in consistent rain, and came away comfortable winners.
But you see, the heavy ground that they wrought in over there is going to do them no harm at all, because it'll have built up for the period of the game, the musculature, the additional little nuance of musculature that'll make the difference. And you have a strong midfield, but if you're full back, if you're half back, you're full half back. The centre half back. If he's there to take the breaking ball, distribute it around. Try the old-fashioned way. Have a go at a solo run for a change,
Yeah.
and confuse them.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that's all wonderfully well.
Did you hear
You know,
him?
that's wonderful.
There's no doubt. I'm wonderful. He wants to be my name. Wonderful. Well, that's great.
But you didn't let me finish.
I'm waiting.
Because if you do that, you're going to get munched, right? It's just the way football's going.
Munched is a term of destruction.
Well, yes. Look, it's just that it's an interesting game, and it's an interesting time for Armagh. Then on Sunday, it shows you how well the GAA sort of think of us.
Yeah.
Right. The ban our players.
Yep.
Because of a bit of a shamuzzle. Dublin gets stuck in front of the country. Boys fighting left, right, and centre. Another bigger shamuzzle. And somebody gets bit.
That was in the World Cup.
No, that was last week in Croke Park.
Somebody got bit.
Yeah. Well, I think he was trying to sort of look at somebody's teeth. So, no action, no suspensions. The only people that get suspended was the Armagh ones.
But sure, it doesn't matter.
And Cavan ones. I know, but I'm only saying.
It
but it's not a level playing field. That's all.
I know it's not. But who else would pay? Who else would pay? You know, your fine, your 5,000. You didn't have to put your hand in your pocket. You were bailed out by a bookmaker.
John Boyle, Car Crumpton man. Well, fair play to him.
Fair play to him, indeed. But
I mean, no, the point is.
But I was thinking, John. I was thinking of communicating with him about it. He has robbed you of the opportunity of proper repentance and penance, and you do need repentance and penance.
Volley in Armagh over the years is all that wrapped. It's all that wrapped up. You know, you get it all. You know,
you get it all.
You enjoy the little bit of glory as it comes along. And then,
how would you epitomise the Armagh style at the moment?
It's hard to describe it. It's a wee bit of like what we were like in the noughties, in the early noughties, and there's obviously the building. So they're a long way away from where they need to be. Yeah. I can see a clink of daylight in what they're trying to do. And as I said the other day, Cleman, I says the Orange men are still marching and they're not talking. And
the Armagh men.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying to them.
And I do appreciate this man is assiduously avoiding any kind of racist comment. So he was able to tell you that there's a clink of light as opposed to a chink of light.
Yeah, well, you see, it's again,
it's very good.
But again, that's a sort of a localism, because
it is.
It's
you have your own language out there.
Well, you see.
Crossmidlen School were telling me that the other day. There's a whole South Armagh, and they're all using it.
Yeah, well, you see, there's a thing in Crossmidlen, a fiend.
A fiend is a friend.
Yeah. And a pure.
A pure.
So
and there's this here.
Yeah.
That's all been on.
But that's, look, you see, the beauty about words, Rowan, is when the BBC arrived on the scene, and they talked all, and you worked for the BBC, and you had to talk. That's why because you talk awfully nice.
Excuse me, let's get this absolutely right. No one has ever told me how I should talk.
Oh, there we go.
I'm telling you. But have you listened to the BBC recently and see the monosyllabic nonsense that's spilled out from some of the people you will encounter?
Absolutely.
They're dreadful.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, the beauty about what we do here is, you interview all the local people.
Oh,
and if somebody lives in Newry and they go, say, to Camla, and then they go to Lesley, and then they go on up to Mullaban, and then on across to Fork Hill, the accents change,
they do.
And the sayings change, and you're going up the Silver Bridge, and it's a localism. The only other country in the world where that doesn't happen, I think, is just Australia. But back to the real world, Rowan.
From where is it? From Newry town to Crossmidlen.
The dealing men will put whiskey in your tea.
No. From Newry town to Crossmidlen, there are more rogues than honest men. That's what they say.
No.
You've
That's
heard that
another.
said.
But that's another lie.
It's another lie.
Yeah.
It's another lie. It is, of course.
We're all
A
decent.
man from your country, I met him this morning. I was sitting out on the street rehearsing, and he says to me, he says one time, this thing about the what do they call it, the sell-by date. There was crowds that were dumping stuff from the supermarket, and John would have gone down and picked the stuff up where they dumped it, and he was taking a lot of it home, and we said to him, you better watch the sell-by date on that. Sure, didn't he say straight back? He says, it's not the sell-by date I'm worried about. He says, I just need to watch the dump-by date.
That's exactly it. So you're always smart people.
And then he said, we were talking about international things. Smart people, surely. He says, that fella, Saddam Hussein, he should have been left alone. They've queer problems now. They're going mad. But when he was there, he would have put the manners in them. If they put a foot wrong at all, he would have beheaded 100 of them before dinner.
Look, the whole thing isn't good at the minute, Ron. Right across that whole area.
It's breaking my heart because there's children every night.
Look, and we did talk last week about the children on the beach, and Jon Snow.
He was fabulous last night.
Well, I have to say, he's been a clink of daylight in darkness because they've tried to stop him from going in. They've tried to block his things coming out.
He's so good.
And he did mention in his report last night. He showed the beach where the children were killed last week. It's so sad. It is so sad. And look, nobody wins in that situation. But
what we're going to do before we go on?
Well, we're going to talk about Cork.
Before we go on, we're going to have 30 seconds silence for the children of Gaza.
Well, okay, I can live with that. Yeah.
I think you can.
Yeah.
So, in this 30 seconds, we're remembering the children of Gaza. And to our Israeli neighbors, to those who live among us, we say, we love you, and we ask that you might speak to your government and ask your government to stop killing children, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, and grandfathers. If you had a whistle now, you could blow it, and we're back on the field of play again. There we are. Well done. Okay. Now, you're taking me where?
I'm taking it straight down to Cork and Sligo. Cork have a huge game tomorrow night. They got absolutely tanked in the Munster final, and Colbert has to get his troops back now. I think Cork will beat Sligo. There is no doubt about that, but I know the people over in Sligo have a wee inkling that they could cause an upset here. I can't see Cork getting beat.
No. They're still as tough, and they're big lads.
Good footballers, but a wee bit naive. And then, of course, you have Tipperary and Galway in the hurling. That's another great battle to take place. And I have to say, I absolutely love the hurling because there's a manliness about hurling that you don't see in any other sport. And you get everything that you desire in a game. You get speed, you get aggression, you get physicality, you get sportsmanship, you get great scores, you get games where you're hanging on the edge of a cliff, and you have just spectacular action. And to me, the hurling this year has been a revelation. How Wexford have come through the knockout stages and are still in it after last weekend's brilliant performance. They're still there, and I would just love to see, to be truthful, I would love to see Wexford playing Kilkenny in the All-Ireland final. But
I'm slightly concerned that you use the phrase manliness.
Yeah, a manliness.
I welcome with open arms the beautiful hurling women of Ireland who are there playing the camogie.
Yeah, well, again,
are you saying that they're in some way inferior to the hairy guys who are out there?
If I was ever to say anything bad about camogie, my friends the chicks with the sticks would probably be chasing me. Because,
yeah, but why are you saying manliness?
But no, there is a man. When a man's playing a game, it's a manly thing.
But these are women.
No, but I'm talking. But it's a different game. It's a different game, different styles. And of course, I love the camogues. I love Colette McSorley, one of the greatest Armagh hurlers or camogues of all time. She teaches up in the college, Marion Delaney from Camla, Rose McParland. The Carcruppen team in the 70s that won the Ulster Sevens. I can mention it.
I think it's important to say that I got him going there.
Well, you almost did.
Go ahead.
And then, of course, the summer camps that the council is running, and I think maybe Ciara's coming in to talk to you.
She is, yes.
She's
due. She's in there now, but she's in at 9 o'clock, you see.
No,
she's in at 8:30.
So,
hold on. Go, keep talking.
So it's up and running. We have a summer camp in Carcruppen. We have over 130 children at it, and they're absolutely loving it. The only thing is they're not used to is the weather. So mums, get the sun cream on, get the hats on.
Very much so.
And plenty of water for the children. Rowan.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. There you go.
That's all right. We'll settle for that. Music, maestro, please. Coming out.